Welcome to the last week of this special series on election coverage. With only a few days left before the election, I was putting together a rant with my analysis, hitting all the major points and highlights in this home stretch, and then I came across this amazing post by Jake Paul. After watching this 15-minute clip, I felt there was no reason for me to just regurgitate the same information. I mean, he truly articulates it so well. Here, see for yourself.
Nervous, scared to make this video because of what it means in terms of my career, my life, people coming after me, more accusations, more turmoil, more division potentially. However, I just want to provide information to the potentially undecided voter, the things that I have seen over the past couple of years that have led me in a certain direction as to who I am supporting in this presidential election. And most of all, encouraging y'all to actually vote, encouraging y'all to actually do your own research and to base that research in the truth, not just reckless propaganda or your favorite pop star telling you to vote a certain way and you believing them because you love their song. And with that said, after watching this video, you shouldn't necessarily just listen to me either. Do your own research before you go and vote, but I highly, highly, highly encourage you to exercise your right to vote. Because I moved to Puerto Rico in pursuit of becoming a world champion in my boxing career, I have rescinded my right to vote. But that doesn't mean I can't present my 80 million large audience with proper facts, numbers, and data to encourage them to vote in the proper direction to quite literally save America. And I'll start off with something that bothered me recently was Tony Hinchcliffe, a comedian who made a bad joke. Obviously, he's doing his job, trying to be funny, but him talking smack about Puerto Rico was not funny. And I want to shine a light on the fact that these aren't Donald Trump's views. It was a comedian who made a bad joke.
I have no idea who he is, never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him.
Tony, while I love most of your work, Puerto Rico is the most beautiful place on earth. And the people here are absolutely incredible. Wars, health, guns, jobs, economy, inflation, border control, freedom of speech. The list goes on and on and on with the number of problems that America currently faces. And I don't come to you to make this video to create more division. I believe love is the key to the universe and that we should all love each other more and more and more. And it saddens me that in the current political state of the world in America, people can't have opinions without outrageous backlash. And I truly believe we can all agree on that things just don't feel right. America doesn't feel good. It shows that we are more divided than ever, and I can't sit back and watch this blasphemy unfold in front of me any longer. What is the problem? Democrats have been in power for 12 of the last 16 years. So if we aren't happy with the current political state, economic state, environmental state, then who is to blame? Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate, has even said this himself.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
We can't have 4 more years of this. Even Tim says there needs to be change. And he's right. We need to change from Kamala Harris to the Republican candidate, Donald Trump. Tim, I remind you that your running mate, Kamala Harris, is vice president, currently in the office, and hasn't done anything while she's in office. Basically no accomplishments. Let's start with a chart of inflation during the Biden-Harris term. Their overall inflation is 20.2% compared to the Trump-Pence administration with an overall inflation of 6.7%. Statistically 14% better while Trump was running the economy. As you can see in every category, energy, gasoline, rent, and food, the numbers are exponentially lower and the lowest of the past 30 years of presidents. Again, regardless of your emotion, I'm just presenting you with facts. Do I think Donald Trump is a perfect human being? No, I don't think anybody on this planet is a perfect human being, myself included. Don't judge people off of a character that the media has portrayed them to be. Because Democrats control 90% of the US media, so they will paint a picture to y'all, and that picture is what they want you to see. And to be frank, I'm not concerned with Donald Trump's character flaws or what he's done in the past. What I'm concerned with is how good of a president is he? Because that is his job, and that is what's going to affect the people of this nation. Oh, Bill Belichick so hard to work with. He's a dick to all of his players, but yet he's the most winningest coach in all of the NFL. We're not here to call names and get involved in emotional battles. Let's look at who was a better president during their terms. Statistically, the next major point that always comes up is abortion. Donald Trump abortion. Donald Trump isn't protecting women's rights. That's what the media has painted to you, and it's absolutely not true. Donald Trump was the president before for 4 years. What rights as a woman were taken away from you? The answer is none. Donald Trump wants to put the power into the hands of each state to determine whether abortions will be legal there or not. So if you live in a Democratic state like California, yes, the Democrats will vote to allow abortion in California, putting the power in the hands of the people. So while many women are focused on this single issue voting, I encourage you not to be a single issue voter.
He was already president, and how many rights did you lose? 0. He's trying to protect women's rights. What do you think it is when we have men in women's sports? We have men in our personal spaces. What do you think it is when dangerous men come over the border? That's what protecting women and children is. Oh, he already said he's not going to do a nationwide abortion ban. He's not going to do it.
Facts. And if you really cared about women and their opportunities and their lives, I think it would be better to have a president that doesn't want biological men competing in women's sports. How many opportunities over the last couple of years have been stripped from women who spend their whole entire lives in a sport hoping for opportunities for it to be taken away by a biological male? And not to mention biological men in women's restrooms. What world have we gotten to where that seems acceptable and that is a political discussion in any way, shape, or form? And as a future father, you will find me dead before I send my daughter to a school where men can go into her bathroom and where men can compete against her in sports. It's bullshit. That is taking away a woman's rights. And I don't hate trans people. It's not an attack against them. I believe adults should dress and act however they want, but you shouldn't encroach your rights into other areas of delusion and infringe on other humans' basic rights. And Caitlyn Jenner herself is a perfect example of this, and someone who carries herself perfectly in a complex and tough situation and conversation across the world. And as a man, you should be offended by the fact that Kamala Harris goes on a podcast saying that there is no law that governs a man's body.
Can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision?
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body. Let's just pause.
No.
Is there any law?
No.
Hey, Kamala, what about the draft, which requires men to fight for their country, die, go to war, or face imprisonment and $250,000 in fines? What about that law, Kamala? As a man, that should frustrate you that she's neglecting the truth about what men do for this country. And women do so much for this country. But let's not make this a battle of sexes. Everyone is equally important in this discussion. And sorry, Thor. Yeah, I know. It's madness. It's a crazy world. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, that's Thor. He's voting for Donald Trump. I would also argue that Donald Trump is protecting women by not letting 15 million illegal immigrants through the borders. 662,566 have criminal histories, 13,000 convicted of homicide, and so on. Having those unidentified people roaming the streets, I believe, arguably, is a bigger potential threat to the women of America. Even the Border Patrol Council, the people who are in charge of the border, endorsed Donald Trump. Quote, "If we allow Border Czar Harris to win this election, this great country is going to hell."
The untold millions of people, unvetted, who she has allowed into this country that are committing murders, rapes, robberies, burglaries, and every other crime will continue to put our country in peril.
Take it from the people who are actually on site, actually managing the border. not from me. And throughout Donald Trump's campaign, the left, who owns 90% of the media, has convinced the world that Donald Trump doesn't like gay people. But when we pull up the footage of Donald Trump's past supporting gay people, people will want to ignore that clip.
I'm all for guys that like men, but it's just not my thing.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
And then we pull up Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden, who are all Democrats, being anti-gay and anti-gay marriage and campaigning it publicly. It's on camera. Roll the clip.
Do you support gay marriage?
No, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman.
I believe that marriage is not just a bond, but a sacred bond between a man and a woman.
But somehow they convince people that no, Donald Trump's the bad guy. Meanwhile, he's hosting gay marriages in Mar-a-Lago. And as he should. We're all for people loving whoever they want to love. What we're not here for is adults campaigning in the streets to young children to have surgeries that will affect them for the rest of their lives when they don't know who they are, what they want to be, or what they want to turn into. And people should really understand the difference between those two ways of thinking. You have to be 18 to vote, 18 to smoke, but you can mutilate your body at 10 years old. It's not okay. Donald Trump's a felon, convicted of felonies. He's a bad person. We can't let a criminal into the government. Every member founding the U.S. Constitution and this great country that has grown from the U.S. Constitution was a convicted felon of Great Britain. The people rebelling against the system, wanting to create change, wanting to disrupt, and wanting to do right by the people that founded this country were all felons. Shouldn't it be obvious that the good person they don't want in office? Shouldn't it be obvious that the one they're trying to kill is the one we need? And shouldn't it be a sign that a member of the most famous Democratic family, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., switched this year from Democratic to Republican, stating so many things that the party has lost its way, he doesn't stand with what they represent anymore, and is joining Donald Trump in his cabinet to make America healthy again, which I think as a young person is one of the biggest problems in America. The unhealthy food, the vaccines that were forced upon us. This is a major problem that is killing so many people. Obesity. You look at other countries, they're not fat like Americans, and I believe RFK will actually make a difference in this. But on the Democratic side, there's no mission forward on this side. And one of RFK's biggest points is he believes that the left is a threat to democracy, to free speech, all of these things. And that's the very thing that the left campaigns to be holding tried and true. We're going to protect democracy, all while doing the least democratic thing possible, suppressing RFK, not providing him with Secret Service, not allowing him to be a part of debates. Isn't that a part of democracy? Again, I'll let you ponder on that one. And me personally, I don't really like politicians. It's, oh, look at me, I'm nice, I'm this, I'm perfect, this is what I'm gonna do. I like the fact that Donald Trump is a businessman who has billions of dollars and won't be influenced by some deal or some treaty that's gonna make himself personally rich, which we all know the dirty game of politics. And the following statement is just my opinion and not necessarily hard facts, and it's alleged. But isn't it crazy that apparently Nancy Pelosi goes into office and then comes out $200-300 million richer from knowing what stocks to invest into because of the deals that she is making? No, we want a rich, wealthy president who won't be influenced by money and make the proper decisions for the country. Shouldn't this be obvious? Which leads me to the madness of this current presidential administration who is funding multiple wars, different sides of each war, funneling billions and billions and billions of dollars into Ukraine, where 1 million Russians and Ukrainians have died. 20 times worse than the Vietnam War. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are funding that. Funding Iran to give money to Hamas to fight Israel. Then funding Israel to fight back against the Hamas. Funding both sides of a war of terror where innocent people are dying. And then hurricanes hit the United States. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans who don't have supplies, who don't have basic needs met because, well, Kamala and Joe spent all of our money funding these wars overseas. But when the Americans need the money, no one's there to help.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
$750. LOL. I remind you, that is the current presidential administration where Trump had peace in the world. Why? Because people respect him. Imagine Vladimir Putin, one of the most powerful, hard men on the planet, in a meeting with Kamala Harris, talking about war. Yeah, right. People forget Trump went and shook hands, the first president ever to do it, to go to North Korea, make friends with Kim Jong-un, friends with Putin, because they respect him. And that is why the world was at peace. We are on the brink of World War III. It's happening in front of our eyes, and the effects that will have on you and your kids are unfathomable. And quite frankly, I hate all the circus, all the madness going on, bringing up celebrities to talk and trick you into voting for certain sides, which is why I wanted to make this video, because I haven't seen anyone just sit down and talk logically about what the fuck is going on. Wake up. Stop being tricked into, oh, looky here, we have this person. Oh, look at this. Oh, vote for this person because this guy said so. No, just look at the facts. Think for yourself. Don't be a sheep in this world full of sheep. And yeah, I see it already. Everyone attacking me, coming for me because of this video. I'm putting my business, my career on the line during my peak, going in to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix, sitting here telling you the truth because I don't give a what the consequences are. Come for me, attack me, make up shit with your liberal left media like you've always done about me in the first place. I'm not scared one bit because I am protected by God. God has sent me here to tell you this message and have pushed this in front of me and put this on my plate to do this. Do the right thing. Vote for Donald Trump. Not because I said so, not because Beyonce said so, but because it's what's right. And I got news for you. Most of your favorite celebrities, athletes, all of that are secretly conservative because the left has created a world where conservatives like me speaking out have major consequences. It's only okay for a celebrity to speak out and endorse the left. And that's only gonna get worse unless people like myself stand up and say, fuck the system. And even if you hate me for making this video, my message to you is, I love you, even if you are lost. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I have love for all of the people of America. And with all of this said, I have friends that are Democrats and Republicans, and we all go about our lives in one harmony. That is what I really wish and encourage for this world. Remember, it's the United States of America. And if you are a Democrat watching this, maybe there's something you can learn from this. Maybe there's something that I can learn from you. I don't know everything, but these are my opinions, and the way we move forward is by communicating and having a positive discourse versus attacking each other on X all the time. Please go. For the love of God, go exercise your right to vote on my behalf and vote for Donald Trump in this election. America depends on it.
So there you have it. Please share this with everyone in your social media platforms. And let's do our best to get out the vote in this final push. Please join the channel because it really helps the algorithm. Like, comment, and share. Remember, everyone wakes up at their own pace, and you are not alone. It's our job to help and educate as many people as possible. God bless America, God bless this podcast, and God bless you. Stay frosty, my friends.